and welcome. Tonight, federal government secures release of 100 children abducted from St. Mary's Catholic School in Papiri, Niger State. Benin Republic government arrests at least 13 soldiers, including the ringleaders, following an attempted coup. French President Emmanuel Macron pledges stronger partnerships with Nigeria in tackling its insecurity challenge. And Kremlin welcomes new U.S. security strategy, which does not cast Russia as a threat to the United States. Some cherry news tonight, with the federal government announcing that it has secured the release of 100 school children abducted from St. Mary's Private Catholic Primary and Secondary School in Papiri, in Aguara local government area of Niger State on November the 21st this year. Bandits on November the 21st attacked the school in the remote community. Bandits had invaded the premises at around 2 a.m. on motorbikes, storming the school dormitories over a 3-hour period and abducting over 200 students and 12 teachers. The federal government responded by imposing a 24-hour security cordon and launching aerial surveillance across parts of Kwara, Kebbi, and Niger states. And only last Monday, the National Security Advisor Nuhu Ribadu reassured parents and authorities of the school that the abducted pupils are doing fine and will return soon. French President Emmanuel Macron has reaffirmed his country's support for Nigeria following the telephone conversation between both leaders. In a message posted on social media platform X, President Macron said that he had conveyed France's solidarity in face of various security challenges, particularly the terrorist threat in the northern region of the country. Speaking on President Tinubu, he says that at his request, he will strengthen partnership with the authorities and the support for the affected population. In his words, we call on our partners to step up their engagement. He ended the post by saying no one can remain a spectator. President Macron's solidarity message comes as global attention turns to Nigeria's security challenges in light of the U.S. government labeling Nigeria as a country of particular concern over violence in the north that President Trump says is targeted at Christians. Meanwhile, the National Security Advisor, Nuhu Ribadu, has said he received the United States congressional delegation in Abuja, reaffirming Nigeria's commitment to strengthening its strategic security partnership with the United States. The delegation include Representative Mario Diaz-Balart, Representative Norma Torres, Representative Scott Franklin, Yohan Miskomani, and Representative Riley Moore, alongside the U.S. Ambassador to Nigeria, Mr. Richard Mills. Mr. Ribadu, in a post on his official X handle, says the visit was in continuation of an early engagement in Washington, D.C., aimed at advancing shared priorities. And according to him, the high-level visit underscores the importance that both nations attach to cooperation on security and stability. And in Borno State, the governor, Professor Babagana Zulum, has applauded the resilience of the southern Borno communities despite the continuous attack by Boko Haram insurgents, as he assures them of government support. Governor Zulum made the remark as he visited the people of Chibok, Damboa, Askeri, Uba, and Gwoza local government areas of the state, alongside Senator Aline Dume, to console them over the attacks, the killings, and abductions of farmers in those areas. Governor Zulum also visited the 25 Task Force Brigade, Operation Hadinke, of the Nigerian Army in Damboa to commiserate with them over the death of a former brigade commander, Brigadier General Musa Uba.
Governor Babagana Zulum, accompanied by Senator Aline Dume, representing Borno South, arrived at Gwoza community to commiserate with the people over the recent attacks, where some people were killed. Before proceeding to Askeri Uba to meet community leaders of the 12 girls abducted and later rescued. Some of the community leaders lament paying of taxes and levies to the insurgents. We implore you, sir, to send more troops to our areas because some of our people, especially those with shops and farms, pay taxes and levies to the insurgents. After spending the night in Askira Uba, the team proceeds to Chibok for the same mission, where the governor discussed intensively with them on the need for tolerance, just as he donates 1 million naira to each of deceased families and 500,000 to each household affected by the attack. All those killed and left behind wives and children each will receive 1 million naira, and for those whose houses were burnt down, we will give them each 500,000 naira. You should be patient with the happenings. By God's grace, we will re-strategize to ensure the insecurity here comes to an end. At Damboa, he also visited the headquarters of the 25 Brigade of Operation Hadenkai to commiserate with them over the death of its former commander, Brigadier Musa Uba, who was declared missing in action and pledged support to the brigade.
We are here in Damboa purposely to commiserate with you over the recent event that has happened in Damboa that has claimed the lives of some of your own colleagues. And in particular, one of your very senior officer, who is the brigade commander, General Uba, who has been declared by the Nigerian military as missing in action up to now. It's a very sad event, and I want to sincerely condole all those officers and men of this brigade that have lost their lives.
With the renewed vigor of the governor, the residents are hopeful that peace will return to Borno State soon.
Around a dozen soldiers have been arrested in Benin Republic following the morning's attempted coup. All but one of the soldiers is said to have been serving soldiers. The soldiers, identifying themselves as the Military Committee for Refoundation and led by Lieutenant Colonel Pascal Tigri, appeared on the state broadcaster to announce that they had seized power. They justified their actions by criticizing President Patrice Talon's management of the country, complaining first about his handling of the continuous deterioration of the security situation in northern Benin Republic. The soldiers' statement cited the ignorance and neglect of the situation of their brothers in arms who have fallen at the front, and above all, that their families abandoned to the sad fate of Mr. Patrice's policies. The rebels also hit out to cuts in health care and tax rises, as well as curbs on political activities.
Le comité militaire pour la refondation CMR, réuni ce jour, dimanche 7 décembre 2025, à Cotonou.
The coup in Benin Republic was quite unexpected for a country believed to have had one of the most stable democracies in Africa. Early Sunday morning, correspondents near the presidential villa reported hearing gunshots. Soon, a group of soldiers, which called itself the Military Committee for Refoundation, interrupted regular programming on national television and announced the removal of President Patrice Talon and all state institutions.
Au petit matin de ce dimanche 7 décembre 2025,
within the hour, however, the Interior Minister Alassane Seydou said in a video statement that Benin's armed forces had thwarted the attempted coup. He urged the population to go about their business as usual. President Talon is reportedly taking refuge at the French embassy in Cotonou. The embassy had earlier reported gunfire at Camp Gezo near the presidential palace. The Russian embassy recommended citizens remain at home and observe basic precautions until the situation becomes clearer, while the U.S. embassy said it was monitoring the earlier reported gunfire and unconfirmed reports of the coup. Although the government says things have returned to normal, the president is yet to address the people, and the situation in Benin remains uncertain. The attempted coup, however, becomes a 12th in Africa in 5 years.
The Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS, has joined the chorus of condemnation following that attempted military takeover in the Republic of Benin. In a statement released today, the regional bloc said it received news of the coup attempt with deep concern, insisting that the Constitution of Benin must be fully respected. ECOWAS also commended the swift response of the government and the Republican Army in containing the situation. And part of that statement reads, ECOWAS holds the leaders of both individually and collectively responsible for any loss of life and property occasioned by their action. ECOWAS will support the government and the people in all forms necessary to defend the constitution and territorial integrity of Benin. End of quote. The condemnation follows a declaration by the group of soldiers identifying themselves as a military committee for refoundation, who appeared on state television claiming that they had removed President Patrice Talon from office. And this development comes on the heels of the recent coup in Madagascar, Guinea-Bissau, and amid growing tensions in neighboring Niger and Burkina Faso, the countries that have also experienced military takeovers. Let's head to Imo State now, where the police command has dismantled a clandestine mortuary in Omuechem, Umuhu community situated along the Owerri-Aba Expressway, believed to have been used to store dismembered bodies connected to illicit organ harvesting. The Commissioner of Police, Danjuma Aboki, who escorted journalists and officials to the site, reveals that the suspected operator, Stanley Morocco Oparogo, remains at large. Our correspondent, Eitokwe Kuteyi, tells us more.
Security operatives led by Imo State Police Commissioner Danjuma Aboki arrived at Ugudu Cottage Hospital and mortuary services along the Umuechem Umu axis of the Owerri-Aba Expressway in Ngokpala local government area. Acting on verified intelligence, the police allege the facility had been used as a clandestine dumping site for mutilated bodies suspected to be victims of organ trafficking. Inside the building, officers were met with a horrifying sight. Hundreds of decomposing and dismembered corpses piled inside an unregistered morgue.
The level of preservation, there's no level of preservation of the corpses. They are in total state of unfair preservation. And most of the bodies are mutilated and in a very terrible state of preservation. So, and even the environment does not depict an environment where bodies should be kept, because they are in very big state of disrepair. The building is dilapidated, the bodies are terribly preserved, and the environment is terribly insecure.
Commissioner Aboki disclosed that the suspected operator allegedly used a hotel in front of the site as a front for the illegal activities. He added that once the government completes the required procedures, the structure will be demolished.
So, scattered corpses, mutilated corpses in this environment. What we have seen, the corpses that we discover are more than 100. And the owner of the mortuary is on the run. We sent for him, he refused to come. And severally, we mounted surveillance, whether we'll be able to get him, he's on the run. And by the information we gather, they use this place in dumping the corpses of what they call organ harvest.
A further sweep of the premises revealed more troubling findings, including a personal shrine linked to the suspect and an hideout believed to have been used for kidnapping operations. The commissioner reiterated that Stanley Oparugo has been declared wanted and that efforts to apprehend him are ongoing.
They declare him wanted. He's on the road. We did not see anybody here. And this health hazard. And by his grace, the commissioner of health is here. The pathology is here. We may soon make a mass burial.
Commissioner for Health, Dr. Chioma Egu, confirmed the facility is not registered among licensed mortuaries in the state. She warned that the site has been identified as a serious public health hazard, posing significant risk to nearby residents.
There's nothing to show that this place is a mortuary. Exactly. There's nothing happening here, or even if you look at the corpses, there's nothing to show that there's any way they were trying to preserve them. So we are declaring this place a place of public health concern. It is hazardous to the environment, and we advise when we get back, we'll sit down and then we'll put down our report and then we'll advise His Excellency. Thank you.
The Owerri-Aba corridor has recently witnessed a surge in kidnapping and other crimes. Residents and commuters now hope the discovery of this illegal mortuary will help curb criminal activities in the area as security agencies intensify their pursuit of the suspects. Eyitopakutai, Channels Television News.
In part two, after the break, Vice President Kashim Shettima to represent President Bola Tinubu at the inauguration of Alassane Ouattara as the fourth term as Ivorian president. Please join us again. Welcome back. If you've just joined us, you're watching the news at 10 on Channels Television, broadcasting live from Lagos. A reminder of our main stories. Federal government secures release of 100 children abducted from St. Mary's Catholic School in Papiri, Niger State. Benin Republic government arrests at least 13 soldiers, including the ringleaders, following an attempted coup. French President Emmanuel Macron pledges stronger partnership with Nigeria as it tackles its insecurity challenge. And Kremlin welcomes new U.S. security strategy, which does not cast Russia as a threat to the United States. Vice President Kashim Shettima is in Abidjan, Côte d'Ivoire, to represent President Bola Tinubu at the inauguration of President Alassane Ouattara for a fourth term in office. He was received on arrival at the airport by Côte d'Ivoire's Prime Minister, Robert Mbabe, and the Charge d'Affaires of Nigeria's Embassy in Côte d'Ivoire, Mrs. Item Ikpama, and other senior government officials. A statement by his senior Special Assistant on Media and Communications, Stanley Nkwocha, says that Vice President Shettima will join other leaders across Africa and beyond to witness activities lined up for the swearing-in ceremony scheduled to hold on Monday, December the 8th, 2025, at the Presidential Palace in Abidjan. The Vice President is expected back in Abuja at the end of the ceremony. Mr. Ouattara was re-elected as for a fourth term in office on October the 25th this year as President of Côte d'Ivoire. The Coordinating Minister of Health and Social Welfare, Professor Mohamed Pate, has said Nigeria and Japan are nearing an agreement on deepened cooperation in cross-cutting technical support, human capacity development, and expanded health sector investments in Nigeria. The Coordinating Minister made this known following his meeting with Japan's Minister of Health, Labor and Welfare and Development Partners on the sidelines of the Global Leaders Coalition meeting in Tokyo, Japan.
We had a very good visit, one-day visit to Tokyo, Japan, to participate in the high-level forum on universal health coverage, of which Nigeria is one among 8 countries in the world that have been championing this as part of the Global Leaders Coalition. This is a testimony to the reforms that Nigeria has been pursuing over the last 2.5 years, led by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, to ensure that we transform our healthcare system, we deliver basic services to all Nigerians over time. And as Nigeria grows, we believe that the prioritization on health will be enhanced. We shared with the forum the progress that we're making and the fact that federal government, states and local governments are working hand in hand. And we've mobilized significant domestic investments, complemented by some of the external partners that have come in to provide technical support, but also financial support to achieve Nigeria's objective of improving the health and well-being of its population. We met the Minister of Health of Japan, who expressed deep appreciation for the collaboration between Nigeria and Japan over time in areas of health security, public health, as well as in health system development. We are in advanced conversations for the government of Japan to step up in terms of their participation in the health sector Tokyo Renewal Investment Initiative, and we hope that that will be, in fact, an important addition. While the UHC hub that Japan has now kicked off provides opportunities for knowledge exchange, capacity building, technical assistance, and cooperation with other like-minded countries all over the world, so that we ensure that the world continues to make progress in advancing the health of their populations, including domestic manufacturing of essential commodities, which is what we're pursuing in Nigeria. We met with Gates Foundation, its leadership that is present here in Tokyo, to discuss the Nigeria's reform effort, of which Gates Foundation has been really part of that, and several other partners from the World Bank, from the World Health Organization, other countries in Africa and in Asia. All in all, a fantastic visit, and really thanks to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu for picking health as one of those areas in his administration where he's pushing us to deliver more, to deliver better for Nigerians. And we're on the way, we're starting to show progress, and we will sustain it.
Well, Kaduna State Governor Obasani is in Beijing, China for high-level discussions aimed at finalizing one of West Africa's most ambitious poultry development projects. The initiative, valued at nearly $200 million, is expected to transform Nigeria's poultry sector and stimulate massive job creation. Governor Obasani arrived in Beijing on the invitation of the government of the People's Republic of China, and that visit marks a major step towards the plan to establish the Model Integrated Poultry Development Project in Kaduna State, a multi-billion-naira investment expected to reshape the region's agribusiness landscape. The federal government delegation, led by the Director General of the Nigeria-China Strategic Partnership, Mr. Joseph Tegba, accompanied the governor, and during that visit, Governor Sani will hold strategic meetings with China Communications Construction Company and the several leading Chinese agribusiness firms, with the goal of deepening technical cooperation and securing long-term investment commitments. The governor reaffirmed Kaduna State's determination to continue attracting world-class investments that expand economic opportunities, particularly for young people, and improve the living standards of citizens. And back home, we head to Kogi State, where the Governor Usman Ododo has reaffirmed his administration's commitment to providing an enabling environment for tertiary institutions in the state to perform their task of nurturing and educating the youth in the state. He stated this at the maiden combined convocation ceremony of Confluence University of Science and Technology. Governor Ododo also emphasized that his administration aims to equip students with skills and knowledge necessary to thrive in a competitive world.
The maiden combined convocation ceremony of Confluence University of Science and Technology, OSARO, kicks off with an academic procession joined by Governor Usman Ododo, who is the visitor to the university, and the former governor of the state, Mr. Yahya Bello. The venue is filled with dignitaries from all walks of life, including the Minister of Steel Development. The Vice-Chancellor of the university highlights the achievements recorded by the institution since its establishment in the year 2020, just as a former governor of the state urges the graduating students to be good ambassadors of the institution.
We are building not just a university, but a system that will define the future of education and innovation in this region.
Please uphold the dignity and honor of this institution anywhere you serve, anywhere you go.
The immediate past governor of Kogi State underscores the need to support President Bola Tinubu in addressing the challenge of insecurity in the country.
We should be able to come up with a solution that will help Mr. President to face and solve the current challenges of insecurity in this country.
Governor Ododo announces Barrister Anthony Hizoji Abumere II as the first Chancellor of the Confluence University of Science and Technology, OSARO. He commends President Tinubu's efforts in the area of security as he announces offer of automatic employment to some graduating students who distinguished themselves.
Mr. President, when some of our students were abducted, you stood solidly with us. You mobilized the entire security architecture of the nation to ensure their safe return. Some of the students graduating here today could have been in the hands of the enemies of progress. But because of your decisive leadership, they are alive, free, and graduating with pride. Mr. President, Kogi State say thank you most sincerely. I am pleased to grant automatic employment to the best graduating students in each faculty. Your hard work deserves recognition, and we are proud of you.
Highlights of the events are award of degrees of Bachelor of Science and Technology to the graduating students and the presentation of gifts and special awards to those who performed exceptionally in their academics.
Disability rights, resilience and creativity took center stage in Edo State as the government, in collaboration with the First Lady Oluremi Tinubu, Renewed Hope Initiative, recently commemorated International Day for Persons with Disability. The event, which featured powerful performances and messages promoting the rights and inclusion of persons with disabilities, highlighted the government's commitment to promoting the welfare of these people. Our correspondent, Jessica Lubushere, reports.
Performances including playlists and poem recitation highlight creativity as well as convey the message of ability at this event commemorating the 2025 International Day for Persons with Disability in Edo State, put together by the Edo State government and First Lady Remi Tinubu Renewed Hope Initiative.
I want to just express our appreciation to the office of the First Lady, not just in Edo State, but our mother, the First Lady of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, distinguished Senator Oluremi Tinubu, who is also the chairperson or the chairman of Renewed Hope Initiative, for this wonderful program.
Speakers versed in disability issues emphasized the need for equal opportunities and accessibility for persons with disability.
We are gathered to witness a commitment that under the present administration of His Excellency, the Governor of Edo State, no person with disability will anymore be excluded.
We want to empower our people. That empowerment will go a long way to remove the stress, the struggle they pass through in taking care of their people.
The coordinator of the Office of the First Lady of Edo State encourages governments and society to respect and promote disability rights.
In employment, consideration should be given to people living with special needs. And I also want to plead that once they are capable, they can deliver. Once they are educated, they will deliver. I also plead with the government agencies that in our building, we should take into consideration the movement of people living with disabilities.
Governor Monday Ukwewulu reaffirms government's commitment to promoting the welfare of persons with disability.
2 weeks ago, I received a letter that the disabled people, they were asking for a bus. I'm here this morning to announce to you that that request is granted. So they are going out from here with that bus.
The event, meant to empower persons with disability, also featured presentation of cash gifts to beneficiaries. Jessica Luguse, Channels Television News.
God bless you.
Still ahead on the news at 10, Senator Mao Habon's led Board of Trustees of the People's Democratic Party declares its resolve to support the party's NWC to stabilize it. Please join us again. Welcome back. You're still watching the news at 10 on Channel Channels Television. The Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Mr. Nyesom Wike, says that no one can expel him from the People's Democratic Party, as he has been a member of the party right from the inception and has contributed meaningfully to the growth of the PDP. Speaking at a meeting with members of the Board of Trustees and National Executive Council, Mr. Wike reacted to an expulsion notice by the faction loyal to Governor of Bauchi State Bala Mohammed and that of Oyo State, Seyi Makinde, stating that he will not allow those who met him in the PDP kill the party. He charged the stakeholders to remain firm and strong, while asserting that those who do not mean well for the party are now on their way out.
From 1998, when this party was formed, I was there also. I've never met. Bala Mohammed was a senator under APP. He came to be a minister because of doctrine of necessity, and that's why he joined the PDP. Seyi Makinde, my younger brother, he was in SDP. I know when he came to lobby, I know those who brought him to me, a Munikat, and the former deputy governor, who is here, and one army lawyer, that I remember him. Senator. He was SDP. He didn't make it before we allowed him. How can those who met me in my house people who met me in my house do not drive me out? I will never allow that.
INEC's resident electoral commissioner in Rivers State, Professor Gabriel Yomere, has cautioned that the credibility of the 2027 general election depends largely on the quality of ongoing continuous voter registration exercise. He stressed that voter registration is the foundation of democracy, warning that if this foundation is not properly laid, the commission cannot guarantee a credible election. The INEC rec was speaking to traditional rulers and other stakeholders at a meeting in Omuma, local government area of the state, where he asked the residents to avoid double registration.
This continuous voters registration is the foundation of any free, fair and transparent election. If we get it wrong here, then 2027 cannot be free and fair. And that's why our electoral officer was emphasizing that we should discourage multiple registration of underage, or probably the dead or foreigner. Because we know that multiple registration is still legal, and that can bring us some uncomfortable situation. So we discourage that seriously.
The president of the Petroleum and Natural Gas Senior Staff Association of Nigeria, Festus Osifo, says that the price of petrol will only come down when the nation's exchange rate improves. Speaking exclusively to Channels Television, Mr. Osifo also addressed the ongoing gas shortage across the country. He asked the federal government to intensify efforts to downstream sector, supply challenges, and strengthen Nigeria's energy stability.
There are issues regarding pricing. There are issues regarding getting even the funding. Even sending gas at times to those turbines, to those gencos. At times, you see companies, they'll be rationalizing because some of these gencos could be owing them for months, for years without paying. Except government breathe on their neck, they will not want to even send gas to genco. So there are issues around availability, as you have said, because most of the companies producing gas prefer to sell those gas to those companies that are going to pay them in bulk. So it takes, yes, it's government. There must be government deliberate policy to say that certain percentage of the gas that is being produced must be dedicated for domestic consumption. So government must come up strongly on that. So beyond those executive orders that the government is giving in the upstream, in the midstream, we should focus specifically as well on the downstream. The only thing that will drop the price of petroleum products today, Larry, is when the exchange rate comes down. So the prices of commodities today are expensive because of the exchange rate. If there was devaluation as at 2022 December, when the exchange rate was hovering around, officially around 400 naira to $1, we would have been buying PMS today for less than 350 naira per litre.
The Managing Director of First Hydrocarbon Nigeria and Chairman of Lapis Nigeria Limited, Engineer Femi Bajamo, has warned that Nigeria's oil and gas sector faces a growing skills and capacity gap unless urgent investments are made in training young professionals and strengthening industry knowledge across both technical and non-technical players. Speaking during a specialized industry training in Lagos, he says the decline in structured workforce developments previously driven by international oil companies has left many young engineers inadequately prepared for the realities of the sector. The maiden Lapis Nigeria Oil and Gas Development Training held in Port Harcourt and Lagos combined classroom sessions with hands-on field exposure, targeting engineers, managers, and support professionals to build practical understanding of oil and gas operations.
Training is number one, because in those days, a company like Shell will have about 20 rigs. But with the sell down to a lot of indigenous companies, there aren't too many rigs working in the companies. So where to get on-the-job training is becoming very challenging. And then training costs money as well. Some of the funds that the IOCs were able to deploy to train people in their various home countries, the funds are a bit limited right now. And then they have to train to build capacity. And it's only when you build capacity that you can fully be conversant in what's happening in the industry and be able to grow. Apart from the technical people, there are so many other professions that service the oil industry. We have lawyers, we have bankers, we have HR people. Some of them have been in the industry for 12 years, but they probably don't understand the fundamentals of oil and gas development. And even some board members as well, they are not professionals in oil and gas oil and gas training. They are not professionals in oil and gas business, but they're there on the board. So this kind of training will help them to be able to assimilate what oil and gas development is all about, so that when they go for these board meetings or opcoms, they are able to flow and ask the right questions from the engineers who come to present to them before they can take a decision about oil and gas development.
From the oil and gas sector, let's turn our attention to the health sector. In Zamfara state, the government says the cholera outbreak has hit several communities and has been fully contained with no active cases reported. This announcement was made in Gusau by the Commissioner for Health, Dr. Nafisa Maradung, at an after-action review meeting on the state's cholera response.
The meeting brought together state health officials, the WHO, UNICEF and response teams to review the One Health approach used to tackle cholera outbreak. After 48 weeks of coordinated interventions, the state recorded 15,464 cases, with 15,265 treated and discharged, while 192 deaths were recorded across all 14 local government areas.
The death trend, we have 199 cases of death. However, the trend begins to decline with the rapid action, improved response we have. The cases begin to drop from week 44, then we cease to have mortality of cases, because why we have it is mostly those coming with severe form of dehydration.
The World Health Organization State Coordinator identifies timely planning, strict use of the incident management system, and consistent data reporting as key to the successful response.
To help us plan, they supported us in training some of our states in 2024 as a part of preparation. But on our own part, we did not have adequate preparedness. And I think that is why our response lingered on to November.
Representing the Commissioner for Health, the Director of Public Health explains that the state is developing a pandemic preparedness plan to boost surveillance and response to future health threats.
The response this year was multi-sectorial. The Ruatlan was here, the Ministry of Environment was here, the Ministry of Humanitarian was also here. So I encourage all partners and stakeholders to work hand in hand to ensure that the prevention aspect of cholera is being understood, and the education that is being discussed at the grassroots level.
Health authorities and partners ended the meeting with a call for stronger sanitation, hygiene, community awareness, and sustained government partner support to prevent future outbreaks.
In Nasarawa State, the Governor Abdullahi Sule has flagged off the construction of twin flyovers in Mararaba of Karu, local government area of the state, valued at 39 billion naira. The 2.6-kilometer project, expected to be completed in 18 months, is focused on addressing the gridlock on the Nyanya-Mararaba road. Our correspondent Salima Gayam reports.
The gridlock on the Nyanya-Mararaba road is one that has lingered for a long time. It is often unbearable for commuters plying the road, which stretches through Karu local government area of Nasarawa State. Whether inbound the nation's capital Abuja or outbound, road users face several challenges, from increased travel time and accident risk, delayed emergency response, economic losses and other challenges, which has impacted negatively on the image of the country. Governor Abdullahi Sule is committed to decongesting the road as he flags off the construction of a twin flyover, which he believes will address the menace.
A complex of engineering structures that provide circular interchanges, overhead bridges, pedestrian bridges, walkways, and pedestrian walkways. This project will not take more than 1 year to be commissioned, inshallah. It is meant to solve a long-standing problem that defies so many approaches. It has a distance of about 2.6 kilometers, which is the longest or about the longest overpass in the whole Nigeria, ranging from Abacha Junction up to Technology Village Junction.
This job right now is going to cost us over 39 billion naira. Because of that, we thank Mr. President also for the available resources. It is only because of the available resources that a state like Nasarawa, out of the 39 billion, state Nasarawa will take 19 billion and already paid to the contractor.
The significance of the project is echoed by stakeholders in the state as they appreciate the governor's vision.
Opening of Karo is opening of Nasarawa State. Opening of Nasarawa State is opening of Nigeria, because Karo is the heart of Nasarawa State.
You agree with me that this intervention is going to make lives very, very, very simple for road users and all those that will be using this place.
As work begin on the road with a completion time of 18 months, an end to the gridlock on the road is anticipated by the people who have endured the challenge for many years. Halima Gayam, Channels Television News.
Oka Mall has officially opened in Eko Atlantic City right here in Lagos, marking a new milestone in retail development backed by lead investor, the Shagori Group. The mall now stands as Africa's largest showroom. The managing and director management of Oka Mall says the facility is designed to redefine retail experience in Nigeria, offering world-class home and lifestyle products under one roof.
Spanning 50,000 square meters in Eko Atlantic City, Lagos, Oka Mall debuts as Africa's largest home and lifestyle retail destination. The executive launch of Oka Mall, developed in partnership with its lead investor, the Shagori Group, welcomes government officials, business executives, and industry leaders to witness a transformative moment in Nigeria's economic landscape.
This investment is a clear vote of confidence in the country and the opportunities that Nigeria presents. Naturally, when a Pan-African brand decides that its largest African showroom should be in Nigeria, it signals and reinforces that Nigeria is open for business.
As part of our long-term expansion strategy, we are planning to open multiple Orca showrooms across several Nigerian states, ensuring that more families across the country have access to our world and of modern, accessible home and lifestyle solutions. This Lagos flagship is our beginning, not our limit in Nigeria. Our goal is clear: to export Nigerian-made furniture to all 32 of our malls across 22 African countries, and this is just the beginning.
Oka Mall is now complete. We can appreciate what it represents. It's not just a building. It's Africa's biggest flagship showroom and a potential contribution to the ongoing development of Eko Atlantic.
The governor of Lagos State, Babajide Sanwo-Olu, says Oka Mall represents another opportunity for job creation and a boost to investment in the city.
If you can dream it, Lagos will give you the platform to build it. And I think that's exactly what Oka, from a family business of less than 5,000 square meters into Africa's largest furniture retail mall of over 50,000. As Africa's largest showroom, this establishment will create jobs. It will help stimulate employment for our young, teaming, innovative, smart minds. It will help to generate increased revenue for government, and everyone will indeed see a growth.
The official launch then takes center stage as the Lagos State Governor leads the unveiling ceremony and formally declares the mall open for business.
Thank you very much.
On that note, ladies and gentlemen.
Featuring over 100,000 products from premium furniture and kitchen essentials to decor, lighting, homeware and outdoor items, this showroom is where luxury meets lifestyle. What began in 2001 as a small family business in Dakar, Senegal, has grown into Oka's presence across 22 African countries, with Lagos now home to the largest showroom in its history.
We now take you back to an earlier story on the coup that happened this morning in Benin Republic, attempted coup, and President Bola Tinubu has now reacted to that, commending the gallantry of Nigeria's military for responding swiftly to the request by the government of Benin Republic to save its 35-year-old democracy from coup plotters who struck at dawn today. According to a statement from the press spokesperson, Bayo Nonuga, acting on two separate requests from the government of Benin, President Tinubu first ordered Nigerian Air Force fighter jets to enter the country and take over the airspace to help dislodge the coup plotters from the national television and a military camp where they had regrouped. It took some hours before the government's loyal forces, assisted by Nigeria, took control and flushed out the coup plotters. In his remarks after the restoration of the democratic and constitutional order, President Tinubu saluted the Nigerian armed forces for standing firm as a protector and defender of democracy. In the world of sports, match day 16 of the Nigeria Premier Football League played this evening across the country recorded 16 goals, and this includes 5 home wins and 3 draws. In Bauchi, visiting Ikorodu City held Wiki Tourist to a goalless draw. The Lagos-based team stayed top with 28 points from 16 games, pending the outcome of their closest rivals, Nasarawa United, who will now play host to Shooting Stars on Monday. Rangers International thrashed Bayelsa United 4-1 in Enugu. For Abia Warriors, they were held to a 1-1 draw by Rivers United. Defending champions Remo Stars edged Eyimba 2-1 in Abeokuta. Akwara United, Plateau United and Kano Pillars all recorded home victories in the match day 16 games. And Crystal Palace have moved into 4th place in the English Premier League as their remarkable rise hit a new high with a 2-1 win against Fulham. Mark Owais headed the decisive goal for Palace in the closing minute at Craven Cottage as Oliver's side made it 4 victories from their last 6 league games. Earlier, Brighton forward Georgina Rutter also stopped West Ham climbing out of the Premier League relegation zone with a last-gasp equalizer in a dramatic 1-1 draw. Nuno Espirito Santos' side were moments away from escaping the bottom 3 thanks to Jared Bowen's second-half strike at the Amex Stadium, but Rutter also grabbed Brighton's leveller in stoppage time to leave West Ham stuck in 18th place. Away from sports, but outside our shores, Russia has welcomed U.S. President Donald Trump's 33-page national security strategy, calling it largely consistent with Moscow's vision. Kremlin spokesperson Dmitry Peskov said in an interview, in his words, "We consider this a positive step," adding that Moscow will continue to analyze the document before drawing strong conclusions. The strategy, which suggests that Europe is facing civilizational pressure, adopts a softer language towards Russia. It appears to endorse efforts to influence policy on the continent, noting that U.S. policy should prioritize resistance to Europe's current trajectory within European nations. And the main news again. The federal government has secured the release of 100 school children abducted from St. Mary's Catholic School in Papiri in Niger State. And that's the news at 10 tonight. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Anne Nwaudo. Have a fruitful week ahead. Good night.